Early 2 p.m. Anthony, and you got top 4 today with Madolche. What made you want to play Madolche?
I picked up this card
from Ulti Queens.
I picked up Ulti Queens from Jerry Hahn, Daily Grind TCG. Not sponsored, and now we're here.
Okay. How many cards is the main deck, by the way?
I think it's 41 or 42.
Okay, go ahead and show us your main deck.
Okay. I played this very last second deck. It's probably one of my favorite decks. I just like the art. So 3 Angeli. Reimagine. Also, sounds weird. Madolche just didn't suck like at all. It actually has like a pretty well positioned
it's definitely rogue.
Yeah, it's definitely rogue. There's no shot this is meta. But like since no one really knows what it does, like
it's not the end of the world.
It's actually just not the end of the world. And then like you'll see why it was able to win. Because I only won like 1 die roll.
Okay, real quick. So we're just kind of going through it. So it's 3 Jelly, 3 Magdalene.
Yeah, so 3 Angeli. This is a tribute to grab any Madolche monster. This is Stratos. This is these 2 cards in 1 card.
Petting Sis.
Yeah, Petting Sis 4. This is Hoot Cake. You get to banish a guy and summon any of the Madolches, but usually you get to summon this or this. And then this is like an engine requirement. So this is like your driver. It also works if you draw it because of other cards. But if you have this card, you get to win. And so, yeah.
That's your Madolche monster lineup, right?
This is my Madolche lineup. So yeah, I guess that you could say that's the engine of the deck. And so there's a lot of it. So you get to like have a high chance of seeing like one of your 9 starters. So there's that. And then you have 2 Promenade, 1 Salon, 1 Chateau.
No ticket.
Yeah, so no ticket. Ticket is dog water. Because ticket only works when you're already playing. And if you're not already playing, if you're not getting to resolve these cards, ticket's just like a dead card.
How's the 1 Salon?
I kind of hated it because like this card's like only good as like a 3 of when you have like the other good names, but then like it doesn't fix the fact that like they already messed with like your good cards in your deck. Then like Salon doesn't like fix that. It kind of just like gives you like way to get to Promenade, but like that doesn't fix the issues of the deck. So that's why I chose to play 1. Honestly, it's like not the worst card on the planet. It's like good against Chi-Chow whenever you try to like normal summon search and then they Chi-Chow and then you have this plus another Madolche. It's like not bad. Yeah, and then Promenade is like this card's ridiculous. This card is like starts your it doesn't start your engine. Sorry, this card like puts your engine back, gets you to
like what does it do exactly? I guess.
Right, so like yeah, I guess yeah. So Salon is a double summon, and then if a Madolche card gets shuffled, you get to set a Madolche spell or trap from the deck. So you usually get access to one of these 2. Usually gonna be this if you didn't search this off your messenger lot already. So that's why its purpose is there. So it's basically like a searchable double summon. It's just like not the strongest card. Like on paper it's really good, but just in practice it's not. Then Chateau is all Madolche monsters gain 500 attack and defense. And then when you activate, you get to put Madolches from the graveyard back into the main deck, which lets you trigger cards for your combo actually. And then you have 2 Promenade, so this is like the heart and soul of the deck. So this card lets you target a Madolche on the field or graveyard, you return it to hand, and then you negate a card in the field. So
it's like a hot red.
Yeah, so this card's like a hot red. So it's like a searchable negate with any card. So this card helps beat Dark Ruler, helps beat Brand Fusion, helps beat like any important card.
Like mine.
Like mine. You could kill through mine, you could kill through skill drain with this card because it just negates the card and you get to put back engine into your hand. And then it has a secret graveyard effect that no one knows about. So you can banish it and then target one of your level 5 Madolches and equip it to, or put it as an XYZ material onto one of your Madolche monsters. So that actually like enables like 6 or 7 monsters like by itself, like whenever you're able to like to do the full sequence, and then you like pass back, resolve this, put it back, you do like a lot. So the deck actually just doesn't fucking suck, surprisingly. And then so you're wondering like how does my 2013 deck actually function? So I played consistency cards in the form of pot. You can't play any other pot because this is like the one that lets you dig 6, so you just gotta hit one of your 9 starters like I said. So you already have like a little bit higher than like a 70-80% chance of seeing one like you would in like Despia, like seeing Albert render opening. But this is like trying to hit shittier cards. Obviously we need to see them. And so yeah, digging 6, and then your extract just is literally 15 blank sleeves. You'll see why in a second, just because like you only need a couple of them to actually function, kind of like Altergeist or a slower rogue deck strategy actually is. So yeah, that was irrelevant to pot. And then I played one call by. It's just a call by.
It's called by.
Yeah, and so this is the cool part of my deck because the Madolche cards actually put up like stuff that's like kind of okay against everything, but it's not like broken or not good like an end board. But when you back it up with these, so going second, and also this was like pot. This the Angeli is very functionable for this because this card's just like a straight out floodgate against most decks, so you get to draw it. Or this because this card is like actually doesn't affect you at all because you use summon your XYZ in defense. You can make it unaffected by monsters, even your own monsters, so you get to nip them for free. And then yeah, they just
keep your Dolce monster.
Yeah, and you get to like keep playing. So yeah, I'm not done yet. So we have 3 Infirm. So this card is basically just a card that trades with anything. So like if you're playing against like Baron decks and like Chi-Chow negate decks, you actually just kind of like let them do the thing, and then your turn you just want to like have a card that trades with one of the cards so you can get the chance to play. Unless you know like their deck is just like inadequate to you, then you just like imprint them. And then I guess the cool spice card is Bashuda. So seems dumb, really good in practice. So what it is, it's a card that if you go second along with some of these other cards that you can just draw, that is always going to guarantee trade into one of your opponent's cards while like still giving yourself a monster, which is conveniently an earth for another card at play. It's not like it has like synergy, but it's like another card that gets like more value. Also, like if you draw X card I'm about to mention and a Vashuda, you just still make a monk with the Vashuda engrave going first, and then at the start of your next turn you just start your turn with a free bounce because you get to keep a normal monster in the field. And so going second, this card will eat a Chi-Chow Baron, Long Yuan, or any stuff I need to eat alive. And so that's relevant to, I didn't play Droplet, and I didn't play Small World, obviously. Small World is like a good card, but this deck already sucks, so like you want to have like as much cards as possible, so whenever you trade like Small World, Bridge, get rid of another good card out of the deck, and then like grab your target, it's super obvious for people to just fuck up your target. And so that's why I don't like that card. And in the field where you just draw like Petting Sasor and like a card you want Small World into, it's not going to be as good because then like you're just basically telegraphing your entire hand, and that's not good because people shouldn't know what Madolche cards do, so you don't want them to have a good time to know, you know, more hand knowledge. And then my last going second card was a Pinkertops. This initially wasn't here for Small World, and then I just remembered Pinkertops is just a fucking ridiculous card. So also this card just helps you like beat a lot of stuff. Like this card just by itself, drawing it into the Punktarian board actually lets you try to trade into like the Scythe stuff, because you just summon it, pop the One Magician, and do, you know, something to it to try to like interrupt their plays with that. So it's kind of cool. Also, all these cards function like that, except for this one, because obviously this is not a quick effect. But like you just like save this for your own turn. This crazy, all these cards together just form oppressiveness. And then my last card just goes in. Because if you go first, this is a card I was mentioning because a monk is an earth, so you get to pass on a monk with Vashuda engrave, and then under goes and you do your everything, and then you just start your turn with Vashuda bounce card, and then you get to try to kill them. And then goes in is just like one of the best floodgates you can play at the moment, obviously. And then if you draw goes and go in first, you can protect it with Promenade because they're going to try to out it, and you Promenade negate it, and then they're just stuck under goes in. So this card basically eats Draco back, or Right, or Fateful. And then this card just makes sure that you don't die, so you get to your next turn, you actually get to try to kill them.
Like outside of Despia, like the card is good.
Yeah, like outside of Despia, like, I mean, shit. I guess I'm gonna try to stick them on some lights. Like, I don't know, that's all I can do. But then if you draw like enough of these cards, obviously not this card, but like these cards are just good enough against Despia already. And also, randomly, the Madolche deck has a really good Despia matchup because of some of the XYZs are just not crap against it.
So it's your extra deck now.
Yeah, so 2 Queen. This card is non-targeting removal for any 2 cards on your opponent's field. The card's actually ridiculous. This card's good. This card is actually crazy. So this card is a Transmigration Prophecy, or in easy terms, it lets you target 2 cards in either graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck, which actually lets you trigger a lot of cards. Like a card to grab for this It lets you put back this guy, so you can resolve his effects like 3 more turns or 3 more times on the following turn. Lets you put back cards, so you can make this live during your following turn, and then lets you
Basically,
this live.
essentially allows you to
It lets
keep
a
it.
lot of stuff happen. So that's why this card's actually just like outstanding. Didn't
Real
really
quick,
think
so
that.
it's Chocolate mode and Glass Souffle.
Yeah,
Remember, people
and
sometimes
tiramisu,
don't know the
yeah.
names. Okay.
So you only really need these cards in your extra deck, and probably this. The rest you can literally just prosperity away and not even think about it, because they're just more copies of the same cards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So also Mrs. Radiant.
Yeah, so I'll get to that in a second. So, then following cards I have the Monk, which is an Earth for what I mentioned. Mrs. Radiant, also Monk plus any other guy makes misses, and then misses plus Chateau is 1,000 on every Madolche. And then 2 of this card, they're not sleeved because they pulled them out of bulk, because I don't think I will actually touch any of these cards, but these guys actually came up a bit. This card's cool, so you make
Sister.
Yeah, so you make this card to put guys in grave. I couldn't tell you what it does. And then a good amount of these cards are like gamma-able. So you have like this card
Jelly
and Jelly. So it's like 6 cards that work really well with Gamma, so obviously gotta play Gamma. So yeah, there's that. And then I guess the side deck is more going second cards.
Would you consider maining this card, by the way?
Yeah, I think this card, if you're not making this card going into Nats, like you're kind of just throwing, this card like eats every deck alive. I just don't know what to say. The card's actually just ridiculous. And then 3 Lightning, 3 Twin for the Dynamorphia matchup. 3 Token Collector, and 3 Barrier. So if you go first, obviously you have this in Prosperity in your deck, so you have a good chance of seeing it. And then you have this in Prosperity in your deck, so you have a good chance of seeing it. And then you go in second, you try to put in all these against like the shitty little trap decks and try to have Prosperity and hope for the best. And then Dark Ruler.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on your top 4 today. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe, right?
No.
All right, good night.